You might think buying a brand new car makes you look like a boss, but the algorithm doesn't care about your new car smell. The platforms don't care about what car you drive. They will happily let you ruin a $40,000 car doing $4 trips to taco smell. Today, we are counting down the top 7 cars for Uber and Lyft driving. Because the real best cars for rideshare aren't the ones you brag about on Instagram. They are the ones that survive brutal miles and insane gas prices, and don't slap you in the face with repair bills. Stick around till the end of the countdown because my top 2 cars break the rules. They will completely shock you. Welcome to Mastering the Rideshare Game. This is episode number 10.
RIDEXserve.
The Honda Accord comes in at number 7, and it makes sense for rideshare because it gives you more of a premier sedan feeling. Passengers get in, they look at the extra legroom, and they suddenly start thinking, you're a millionaire doing this for fun instead of a guy just trying to pay for overpriced groceries. It's roomy, it's comfortable, it's efficient enough to be considered for full-time driving. 2 reasons this car stands out are simple. First, the ride quality and comfort are very strong, which matters when you're doing long rides or waiting and just sitting in the car for long hours. Second, the miles per hour are very efficient. This car comes in at roughly 47 miles per gallon. The absolutely worst car for rideshare is the one you bought to impress your neighbors before you started driving for Uber. I'm going to reveal a car later in this countdown that completely flips the rideshare script. Just imagine owning a car that does not depreciate in value, might possibly appreciate in value. That is my promise and a wildcard tip coming up very soon. The Accord is a nice car if you maintain it right. But before I reveal the next car in my countdown, we need to address the most common mistake a lot of drivers are still making: the new car trap for Uber and Lyft drivers. The monthly payment is not the real danger with new cars. The real danger is how fast brand new cars start bleeding value when you put on rideshare miles. My friends, I learned this the hard way, and I deserve a slap for that. I bought 2 cars brand new for Uber before I really understood what was happening. Uber and Lyft don't pay you more just because you bought something shiny and expensive. The algorithm doesn't look at your loan paperwork and say, oh wow, Uncle Fuber bought leather seats, let's give him some VIP rides. No, it sends you the same guy named Bob who smells like cheap beer and needs a ride to the liquor store. The app sends you a lot of those cheap regular rides, but you're the one that's making the big payment. The faster depreciation and the extra pressure you have to stay online. Kelly Blue Book says some cars lose upwards of 20% value in depreciation just in the first year. That is why buying used usually makes more sense for rideshare. You let somebody else take the big depreciation hit instead of you. Comment below and let Uncle Fuber know if you ever accidentally bought a brand new car for driving Uber and Lyft, because I know a few people that learned this lesson the same hard way I did. And with that out of the way, let's move to number 6, the first Toyota car on my list. At number 6, I've got the Toyota Camry Hybrid, and this is where the list starts getting interesting. The Camry is essentially the big brother the grown-up version of the Toyota Prius. When you are sitting in the driver's seat for 12 to 15 hours working a long grinding day, the refined suspension and the extra cabin space makes a massive difference for your back and health. You are also getting elite fuel efficiency, almost up to 52 miles per gallon. Here are the 3 reasons the Camry secures the number 6 spot. First, its legendary dependability and mechanical architecture means your maintenance downtime is practically eliminated, and it allows you to stay on the road a lot longer. Secondly, the rear legroom naturally favors passengers for those high-paying Uber rides. Third, it holds incredible retail resale value just in case you want to flip the car before it gets too many miles on it. I learned the hard way that sitting in a cramped, cheap car for 10 hours a day will cost you more in chiropractor bills than you actually save on gas. The Camry earned this spot because it's a well-balanced sedan. But at number 5, we're gonna leave the sedan lane and move into something that gives you a little bit more space and versatility. I've got the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. This is one of those cars that makes sense if you need the extra space, but you don't want to go full SUV. If you absolutely refuse to drive sedans, the RAV4 is a monster for airport rides because you rarely have to play Tetris with passengers' luggage. There are 3 massive reasons why the RAV4 is on this list. First, you're still getting a respectable 40 miles per gallon. Second, the higher stance and more cabin room gives you a commanding view when you're driving. Plus, it reduces driver fatigue because it's more comfortable. Third, it's an incredibly reliable car. Chris from the WhatsApp community drove his first RAV4 to over 425,000 miles. Lifting 50-pound suitcases out of a deep sedan trunk daily will eventually send you straight to the doctor. The flat cargo floor of an SUV saves your lower back. The RAV4 is a phenomenal tool if you need more space. Now let's get to the wild card, or the wild car that I hinted about earlier. Landing at number 4 is the only EV option on my list. A vehicle that forces you to choose between massive advantages with the algorithm or terrifying repair costs. And yes, the Tesla is the wild card option that I told you about earlier, but don't judge me just yet. Let me tell you why. A Tesla might in the future have an option or a software upgrade that it will drive autonomously for you while you are sleeping. Full self-driving is worth investing in, as this car can appreciate in value and make you more money. Tesla Model 3 and Tesla Model Y are also great investments because platforms like Uber and Lyft are investing in EV transitions. And what that basically means is these platforms want more EV vehicles out there versus gas guzzlers. I personally know a driver in the community that has bought a Tesla Model Y for $25,000 twice. There are 2 big reasons Tesla earns a spot on this list. First, there is no gas bill. So if you're smart about charging the Tesla at your home, you can save almost 50% in gas cost. All that money is going in your pocket. Number 2, you can save a lot on maintenance costs because a Tesla doesn't have transmission. A Tesla doesn't have spark plugs. For a Tesla, you don't need to do oil changes. The reason why it does not rank much higher is because it has a massive depreciation value. And one expensive repair or an insurance surprise can cost you a lot of money, and you can lose all the money that you saved by getting a Tesla. Plus the battery might need to be replaced because we drive a lot of miles as Uber drivers. If you ever wonder why a Tesla pulls into the airport a lot and immediately gets a ping before you do, it's not luck. The algorithm secretly bumps EV drivers to the front of the queue. The Tesla gamble is real, but if you prefer a safer, proven gas option, the next car I'm talking about is an XL, and soccer dads and soccer moms love it. At number 3, I've got the Toyota Sienna Hybrid. Now the list gets a little bit rewarding for drivers that know their market. Because if your city gives you enough XL options in your market and airport rides, this minivan stops looking boring and starts looking like a serious business tool. Recent KBB pricing shows that the Toyota Sienna Hybrid used version typically sells for around $32,000 to $40,000. There are 3 massive reasons the Sienna Hybrid takes the bronze medal today. First, it unlocks the Uber XL tier, which generally pays a little bit more in gross income. Second, the hybrid engine drives your cost per mile down. Third, you get the capacity to drive larger groups, almost 8 people at a time, and the miles per gallon are roughly around 35 to 36. A big car only makes sense when the market actually pays you for the extra metal, the extra seats, and the extra space. Keep watching because pretty soon I'm going to tell you another truth that most drivers ignore when they're buying a car for rideshare. The Sienna is absolutely a beast for groups, but what if you want an XL option that is not a minivan? My number 2 pick is around the corner, and that's a premier SUV that I personally drive. At number 2 is the vehicle that I personally drive for my rideshare business. A car that I have pushed over 395,000 miles, and I still trust with my private rides and private clients. It gives you commanding SUV presence, incredible room, and the flexibility to handle large groups. Where this vehicle truly shines is off the apps if you're truly trying to book private clients and build your own business. By the way, last month, somebody who bought my course, Start Your Own Rideshare Business, made $1,300 from one single private client. And this particular person also made $400 in one day from one private client. That was $100 tip. If you are ready to get private clients, my course is the first link in the description. Check it out. According to Kelley Blue Book, you can buy a used Toyota Highlander for roughly around $30,000 to $35,000. Here are the 3 reasons why the Highlander Hybrid dominates. First, it opens up the sweet spot for Uber XL rides, comfort rides. Obviously, you're gonna do Uber Eats and Uber deliveries and Uber packages. You can do everything with a Highlander. Secondly, the miles per gallon with the Highlander Hybrid are roughly around 35 miles per gallon. Personally, I drive the non-hybrid version and I get around 20 miles per gallon. Third, you're still operating with the legendary Toyota ecosystem. The transmission is fantastic and the engine is fantastic. Look, in 5 years, I've already driven this car over 395,000 miles and it's still going strong. When you drive a vehicle that naturally impresses passengers, converting an Uber ride into a private cash client becomes effortless. Please fight me in the comments and let me know so far if you agree with the cars that I've mentioned, or do you have something else that you suggest? Maybe I'll make a part 2 for this video. The Toyota Highlander is an incredible tool, but buying the right car is just the first step. Next, we're going to talk about your car's exit strategy, because keeping a car too long could be just as bad as buying a bad car. The exit strategy, when to dump your rideshare car. This is the part most drivers don't think about until it's too late. The money is just not made when you buy the right car. The money is also made when you sell the car at the right time. Personally, I believe you need an exit plan for your car before you even buy it. You either run the 150,000 flip. This is where you sell the car where it still has some value before major repairs can possibly come. Or you run the 400K grind where you drive the vehicle until the wheels literally fall off and its value goes to zero. I am going to be vulnerable here and share my story and the mistake that I've made with this particular car so you learn from it. I bought the 2021 Highlander brand spanking new for $48,000. Currently, I still owe $12,000. It's going to take me one more year to pay it off. If something catastrophic happens to my car today, I still owe $12,000 on the car. The mileage is over 395,000. There is zero trade-in value right now. I should have sold it at around 150,000 miles so I could have gotten some value out of it. Remember in chapter 6, I mentioned there's a hard truth that most drivers ignore? Well, that was it. Please learn from my mistakes. Keep a depreciating asset too long without a cash reserve is how the rideshare game bankrupts good drivers. Make sure you are saving up for your next car. 78% of you are watching my videos like the undercover FBI. Only 22% are subscribed. Do me a favor, if you're learning and I'm bringing you some value, please hit that subscribe button and help a Pakistani brother out. So now the big lesson from this video is done. Buying the right car is important, but also knowing when to sell it is just as important. And with that out of the way, now we can get to the number one car I have in this countdown video. Number one spot is the Toyota Prius Hybrid. The car that I told you would surprise a lot of drivers is the Prius. It's not flashy, it's not sexy, it's not the car that people are gonna brag about, but the mathematics on this car are correct for rideshare. The Toyota Prius is the best rideshare car on this list because it is built for the exact kind of punishment this business dishes out every single day. It's popular with the taxi drivers, it's popular with the Uber drivers, it's popular with long drive commuters. Recent pricing on Kelley Blue Book on a Toyota Prius Hybrid shows a used one you can buy from around $18,000 to $22,000. There are three big reasons the Prius takes the number one spot. First, the fuel efficiency is ridiculous. This car gives you around 47 miles per gallon and sometimes up to 57 miles per gallon. Just process that. My Highlander does 20, this car does 57. Just imagine how much money you're saving on gas. Second, it's a long-term workhorse and its reputation speaks for itself. This car can go a long way. Third, it keeps the business simple because even if you have an Uber XL, 80 to 90% of the rides we get are Uber X, so might as well drive a Prius and save the money on gas. Mark from the WhatsApp community bought his Toyota Prius for $12,000 and right now he's driving in San Diego and he easily makes $300 a day. The best rideshare car isn't the one that looks good in your driveway. It's the one that minimizes your cost per mile and survives the longest. If I could go back, honestly, I would buy a Toyota Prius Hybrid to do my rideshare business. That rounds up the top 7 vehicles that I have. Now, let me give you a quick recap and let's end this video. Summary plus what's next. The secret to surviving Scroober is not working long hours. It's driving a car that stops stealing your money. So now the answer is clear. The one benchmark that matters is profit per mile. If a car cannot put more money in your pocket, it's not an ideal car for the rideshare industry. The Accord Hybrid gives you a more premier sedan feeling. The Camry Hybrid provides bulletproof comfort. The RAV4 Hybrid gives you more space without a massive gas bill. Never forget, buying a brand new car for rideshare industry is doing charity work. The Tesla might eventually give you autonomous upside and appreciate in value. The Sienna Hybrid unlocks Uber XL and is great for airport trips. The Highlander Hybrid is the ultimate tool for private rides and private clients. Whatever you pick, make sure you have an exit plan for your car. Respect the fact that the boring Prius is still the king of profit. My last video, 8 Uber algorithm tricks for 2026, get better Uber offers, has been performing very well. I appreciate the comments that you left. And with that, I believe the next video is going to be more tips, more tricks, more hacks that I can share with you, because those are the kind of videos you love watching and commenting on. So thank you. Click the video right here if you want to keep learning and hacking and breaking the Uber algorithm and mastering the Uber algorithm. And hit that subscribe button. Let Uber and Lyft know drivers are helping drivers. Keep cherry picking and God bless you.